All right, we're live. Hi,
Yay!
everyone.
Hi!
Welcome to Talking Live with Macy. Same drill, Aleena. You've been catching this almost every Sunday, so we're going to wait for about 15 people to join us and tune in before we officially begin. For those of you who are new, welcome to Talking Live with Macy. Today we have an interesting topic. We are going to talk more about children cancer. And we have someone who is going to share her testimonial with us. She is very strong, very inspirational, and she's a friend of mine. For her age, she's really, really matured. And I do hope that you can share this live with your friends, your family, to raise awareness that cancer happens at any age. I see 17 of you already. The meter jumped. So let's officially begin. Hi, everyone. Once again, welcome to Talking Live with Macy. It's a very sunny and bright Sunday today. And I'm so thankful that all of you tune in every Sunday with me. As you guys know, this month is my house series. That's why I'm bringing on guests that can share their experiences, impart awareness to all of you, and also speaking to experts like last week genetic testing. I will announce the winners on the comment section for last week shortly after this in the comment section, so do check out for it. And the other thing is, today's topic is very special because it is rare. So we're going to talk about children's cancer. And not only that, our survivor here today has not only experienced children's cancer, but also the fact that she had two different types of cancer in her life, her very short lifespan as of currently. She's only 25 and she's already had two different types of cancer. When she first experienced her first cancer, it was at the age of 12. She had ovarian cancer. And if you know a little bit about children's cancer, you would know that for children's cancer, the common ones are leukemia and lymphoma, the more blood types of cancer. But she had an organ cancer, which is really rare. And then her second cancer happened at the age of 21, and she had thyroid cancer. I've known her for the past couple of years, and she is amazing because when you see her, you wouldn't imagine that she has gone through two different types of cancer, and the first one at the age of 12. And this shows that cancer can happen to anyone at any age. And through her experience, she is so matured for her age. She's only 25, and she's like, her mental age is like way older. So I'm gonna start now. We have Aleena with me. She is from my Young Cancer Survivors group. She's also a friend of mine, and I truly admire her. So if you have any questions about ovarian cancer, about children's cancer, it's always good to hear from the perspective of the child who had cancer. If you're a parent who have children with cancer, it's difficult. It's not easy, especially if you're a caregiver. So please ask away. Continue commenting. We want to hear from you. And so Aleena can answer the questions. So I'm going to start now. And hi, Aleena.
Hi, Maisie. Hi, everyone.
Thanks for agreeing to join on today's live stream. And yeah, you're amazing. So I'm going to start asking you the questions, all right?
All
See,
right,
she's
sure.
always smiling. My first question for you is, how did you feel when you first found out you had ovarian cancer at the age of 12?
All right, Maisie. First of all, I am 24 years old this year, Maisie, not
Okay, so,
25.
so yes, she's turning four.
All right. All right. So to answer your questions, when I knew that I had the cancer, I absolutely have no idea what it's all about. Ovarian, what is that? I have not learned about the reproductive organ at that age. I even haven't started my period at a point of time. So since I couldn't understand like everything, my parents and doctor put it in a simpler term. So they told me that I have actually something inside of my stomach that actually causing the pain. So that time I set on my mind that, oh, okay, I knew that something is growing inside my stomach and I need to get rid of it in order to for me to get healthy. So I didn't really that time I didn't really think about am I going to die due to cancer until actually I started my chemotherapy. Yeah, because the chemotherapy is very painful for me. So most of the time, what actually bothered me the most was the fact that actually I couldn't go to the school. I was supposed to prepare for my UPSR. I kept asking my parents like why this treatment like too so long. I want to go to school. I want to see my friends. I couldn't go to the best high school if I didn't did my best in my UPSR. That kind of thing actually bothered a 12 years old me. Yeah.
So what was on your mind was the fact that you couldn't see your friends and you couldn't take UPSR and you couldn't go to a good high school because you couldn't take the exams. So that was what was going on in her 12-year-old mind. And I mean, I'm sure you guys heard her. That time she didn't even have a period yet and she had ovarian cancer. So it must have been so difficult for her parents and the doctors to try to explain to her what she was actually experiencing. And what were the symptoms that actually led to the discovery of ovarian cancer?
All right. So when I was 12 years old is actually on 2008. So the symptoms appear is actually in early 2008, and it was after I had the sports day in my primary school. So I joined like a few activities and I had a fever and I felt the intense sharp pain in my stomach after that. So also my parents noticed that my stomach was extremely bloated and hard when we press it. So because of the discomfort and I keep complaining about it, and that's how it led us to go get a checkup at the hospital. And to our horror, the lab test turned out to be cancerous.
Okay, so through the sharp pain, she found out that she had cancer. And I guess the thing was it I mean, how did your parents feel about it? I mean, it must have come as a huge shock for them.
Yes, correct. I believe that my parents experienced a wide range of emotions by the time they knew that I was diagnosed with cancer. Shock, denial, sadness. I'm sure that's what they felt. I was diagnosed when I was in my hometown in Batu Pahat, Johor. So we went to both government and private hospitals to seek the best advice and treatment. So turned out one of the hospitals wanted to send me to Johor Bahru as they said that they lack of equipment and specialist doctor. While another hospital like told my parents that based on his observations and the diagnosis, I had no chance to live. And the treatment such as radiotherapy wouldn't work on me, and because it's too risky, because the tumor is too big. The tumor is like the tumor big as a football, football ball is a really big. Of course, as a parent, when heard that kind of thing, definitely it crushed their heart. Things get really really emotional at that time. But one thing is like my parents doesn't stop there. They keep like trying to bring me here and there to find other opinions about my diagnosis. We try a lot of treatments. So whenever like people say it's gonna have my conditions, we try. So one of the doctor in Batu Pahat itself, he kind of like suggests to take me to his friend in UMSC. So the doctor in UMSC is not a pediatrics, but he's a gynae. So because of his a gynae, when we meet the gynae, he's a very positive and optimistic person I've ever met. So he gave comfort words to my parents, because my parents feels like, when the parents already hear that, okay, I can't live anymore. So when another doctor come and comfort them, it helps a lot, really helps a lot. So he told my parents that he can do my case. So we decided to get the treatment there. We need to travel from Batu Pahat to KL almost every single week. And of course, the hospital is really like my second home. So what we did in UMSC was to simplify it. It's just a couple of chemotherapy and open surgery that I need to remove one of my ovary and that leaves a scar 24 cm.
Wow, because the tumor was the size of a football. I
Yes, it's
cannot
really.
imagine the dimension on a 12-year-old body, but it must have been huge.
Yes, because I have a very chubby face, right? So everyone thought that I'm actually an overweight, on my overweight, right? So, but it turned out it's just like a tumor is actually growing inside my stomach. Yeah.
Okay. So Alina actually stopped schooling for 1 year during her treatment, correct?
Yeah, yeah, but I still went for my UPSR.
So the choices that your family made during that time was to give you the treatment in KL,
Yes,
commute every week, and this was for 1 year, right?
yes, for the whole year.
Alina lost all her hair, and that was very tough for her.
Yeah, it's really tough. You
For a
don't know what
12
to
year old
answer.
girl.
Yes, you actually don't know what to explain to your friends. Actually, it's kind of like people will ask you like, why don't you have hair? Like, what actually you want to answer to them because you don't even know ovarian cancer and what you want to tell your friends. Yeah, that kind of like society that I need to fit in I need to explain is hard for me at the time.
So, for those of you who are watching this, if you have questions about ovarian cancer that she experienced, if you have questions for her in general, please ask your questions now. And what were your symptoms for thyroid cancer? So, Alina had thyroid cancer then at the age of 21. So, how did you find out that you had thyroid cancer after being, cancer free for about 10 years?
Yeah, it's just like it's unpredictable. I found out about it when I was in my first year in university. I went back to my hometown and suddenly my mom saw a lump on my right side of my neck. So there was no sign of trouble in breathing. It was painless. Yeah, it's unexpectable.
So, you removed the tumor and you went for thyroid treatment, right?
Yes, yes. So when mom saw the lump, and I don't feel anything about it, so I went to meet my gynae that time. So I casually like show to him, like I asked doctor, what is this? And like he gets okay, we should get a ultrasound, biopsy, and all those blood tests works. And then I went alone for every test, and even when I went for the biopsy to took my biopsy result, I went there alone. And it turned out when my doctor told me that it is a cancer, and I was like really shocked, because it was painless. I don't feel anything. So that time, the only thing on my mind is like, okay, if it's just a cyst, I can just get a surgery and I remove a part of it and should be okay. But then when he told me that it is a cancer, I was kind of like speechless. My mind totally went blank that time. So after I received the report, right? I went back to my car and I just called my dad first. And then when I told my dad and I informed him like yeah, it's a cancer, and I started to cry. I cried like the whole week. It definitely wasn't easy, for me and family. It's kind of like trauma because I even though it's 10 years ago, but I can clearly still remember the pain that I
Yes.
had from the ovarian cancer treatment. I didn't cry because I'm afraid that I'm going to die because of the cancer. I did cry because of that. I cried because I'm tired. It's just like, need to go all over again. Yeah, just that. And then less than a week, I enough with the crying episodes. I get up from my bed. I started to find out what is the options and treatment for the thyroid cancer. So I went back to my gynae and he referred me to one of his friend in ORL. That is the head and neck surgeon. So the options that I have that time was just to remove all of my thyroid since the cancer was at both sides of the thyroid. So if it is like one side, maybe you can like save another side. But this one is at the both side. So I need to remove all of it. So he told me clearly that there will be no chemotherapy involved, which it took that me like, oh, it's good. And then he told me that the process was easy, you just need to remove it. But to live with a thyroid, without a thyroid, after that, we'll need an extra care. I need to eat medications for the rest of my life. And before it gets any worse, I just remove all my thyroids right after I finish my final exam at that time.
So, I mean, you are clearly a go-getter. So, when
Yeah.
you had ovarian cancer, you were worried about UPSR and to get
Yeah.
into a good school. And then when you had thyroid cancer, you were worried about your final exams.
Yeah, it's like I have something else. I need to get this thing like need to get done faster.
I think I can understand where you're coming from because when I had colorectal cancer, I was actually towards my final stage of my PhD, and I was like, okay, maybe. I mean, like, I was really upset that I had to put it on hold because I couldn't really concentrate much at that point of
Yeah,
time. I
yeah,
was very weak. But you're amazing. I mean, I cannot believe that was what you were thinking. But yes, I'm sure it is very tiring to have to experience cancer again. It's very traumatic. And for those of you who are watching this, who are cancer survivors, I'm sure all of you know the fear of
I
actually
relate.
visiting the doctors to get results, to do your checkups. And the other thing is that the fear that it might come back. But what is really unexpected in Aleena's case is that it came back, but in a different area.
Yes.
So that is so tough because it's a different type of game plan, different type of treatment, and it's just unexpected.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy that we are here having this conversation. You're still smiling away. So
Mhm.
what would you say? How did you would you say you pulled through having had cancer again the second time? What made you pull through it?
All right. What made me pull through it? It's definitely because of my parents and my gynae, who I actually consider as my family. To see my face, to see the face, like when my gynae told like it is cancer, and I can see that his face is very sad. And what I'm thinking that time is they didn't give up on me, and why should I? All this while, all my treatments and medications were paid by my parents 100%, and it wasn't easy for them. That time I was 21. I didn't want to make it like so complicated with all those like emotional episodes, and of course just go through with the options that I have discussed and evaluate with to remove all of my tires, and that is the best options I have that time. So yeah, definitely like looking to my parents' face and my gynae face, it should be enough for me to get the strength.
Yeah, that's why Aleena actually she actually took her gynae's last name as well when she calls herself. So cute.
Oh my god.
So as you couldn't live a normal childhood, how would you say that you have grown? And how are you different from people your age?
Hmm. It's not really a big difference. It's just that I think a lot about life. Ever since I had my ovarian cancer, I struggles most of the time till today. My biggest challenge in my life is my own health, and I knew that that is my limitations. So as growing up, I stopped complaining and questioning my limitations. Instead, I acknowledge them. Whatever I want to do, I will do it my very best. But if my body gives me an alarm, alarm is kind of like some sort of pain, then I will stop doing it like without complaining. But of course, I will give it a try at a time. And I also learned that other people also do have their own struggles and the thing that they can't do as well. So me as a human, will just give my very best to support or at least be there for them. When they're complaining that they are having struggle with something, just be there for them, just hear them. So everyone competes with their own journey. So you push yourself to be better than yesterday, actually, not to be better than anyone else. I learned that when I was in my high school.
So Aleena recently graduated, and the funny thing is she graduated during MCO,
Yeah,
and
it's
she was looking
hard.
for, yeah, it was difficult looking for a job, but you can see her personality. She's a go-getter. She doesn't give up. She clearly didn't give up on her life. At the age of 12, she missed 1 year of schooling to do treatment, yet she still took her UPSR. Amazing. And then she had a final exam for her first year at the age of 21, yet she still did it with thyroid cancer. You can tell her personality. She's such a go-getter. And that is what is inspiring about you. Having to listen to your story, like actually really listen and talk to you about it. I'm so amazed.
Thank you,
So
Daisy.
and I think for all of you out there, she her story should tell everyone that don't take your youth for granted. Don't take anything for granted. Listen to your body. Know when to actually go for checkups. I always advise people go for regular checkups at least once every month, once every year,
Yeah.
and 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 don't be afraid to find out because Aleena isn't. She's always so positive. So Aleena, what are your next steps in life?
Next step in life, as a normal human being, of course, at the age of 24, I'm focusing more on my career, what I want and what I want to do as my side hustle. And probably in the next 5 years, I probably want to start to have my own partner and my kids. Yeah, that's a normal human being wants too. So, but nothing ever goes according to plan all the time anyway. But I have this quote on my life. It's actually when the door one door closes and another one opens. When I was 12, one day a doctor told my parents that I have no chance to live, and another doctor came to my life and told that I am going to be fine. Well, that's how life really looks like. So whatever it is, whether I will get a child or not, whether I will have a partner or not, I will cherish every moment that I have now. And if my plans get interrupted with any other types of cancer, then it's okay. I'll fight it. No problem.
Wow, that gave me
Yeah.
goosebumps, by the way.
Oh.
Uh, yeah, you should write a book, by the way.
Yeah, I should.
And the thing about Aleena is that when she was looking for a job during MCO, it's such a difficult period. She didn't stop there, rest on her laurels. She actually upskilled herself to get a job, and she
Yeah.
got a job during
Yeah.
MCO.
I got during MSO, I got two job offers. Yeah.
Yes, she got two job offers during MCO because she decided that she was going to upskill herself during that period of time. So
Yeah.
that is her basically her next steps, and because she had ovarian cancer before, I believe that she will make fertility decisions, wise fertility decisions based on her gynae's advice. So do you guys have questions for Aleena for the things that she has gone through, her story or anything? Please ask away. I think there's one person that asked you a question. Munira asked you, did you seek traditional treatment or any alternative treatment? I think that's a good question.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good question. Actually, I would say yeah, we do because when the doctor already told my parents that I have no chance to live, and what is the other options? We went to the Malay traditional, we went to Chinese type of medicine, we went to everything actually. So yes, but the thing is, we still go to the hospital. We still get the advice from the doctor. We still do the CT scans regularly to see how big is the tumor is growing. Yeah.
I completely agree with Alina because we should always listen to our doctor's advice, go for the main route of treatment, and then use alternative treatments as a complement to our existing treatment. I used it also as a complement, but not as the main treatment.
Main one,
I hope that
yes.
answers, yeah, I hope that answers your question. Both Alina and I feel that way. So, do you guys have more questions? We love you too, Navi. I hope to see you on this show soon.
Love you, Davi.
So, do you guys have more questions for Alina before we wrap up the session on her cancer journey, on her thoughts on life, on her next steps, or anything about ovarian cancer, about thyroid cancer? Because she's here, ready to answer them, and she was prepared for this. She has prepared for this live show, being the
Prepare.
go-getter that she
I'm
is.
still nervous.
Why are you nervous? You don't have to be. Do you have anything else, Alina, that you want to share with everyone?
Oh, yeah, I have one thing. Remember when I said that my parents have to pay 100% for my medical treatments? So if you are a parent and you have a child, go get a medical insurance as soon as you can. It's
Yes.
really yes, yes, that's a very important thing because my parents work there really hard to get to earn money to because I went to private hospital that time because the government wasn't really like yeah, they are taking longer times to make decisions on my thing. So we went to private. So the doctor was in the UMSC, which is the private wing. yeah, we need a lot of money for that, for the chemotherapy, for the surgeries, and yeah.
So, to all of you who are listening, we are not insurance agents,
Yeah, we
Alina
are
nor
not. I'm not doing a part-time
yes,
job.
yes, and but we both wholeheartedly believe in having medical insurance. That means the H&S card, wholeheartedly. For me, I'm stuck with the very basic plan for the rest of my life. For Alina, she doesn't even have medical insurance. So her parents and herself, she needs to save up so much money for treatments and for checkups. These are really, really expensive costs. So yes, we highly recommend medical insurance to all of you who are listening. And Sunny, you said good to share success stories of fighting cancer, very inspiring and motivating. Demony, okay. Thanks for tuning in. Jazrin asked, did doctor advise on your fertility plan at your age? Oh, that
No,
was true.
yeah, that was 12, and I think most of the discussion were made between him and my parents. And but that time, like, who cares about fertility at that time? I mean, I just want to live, you know. Fertility, to have children or not to have children, at my age now, I don't mind about it. I can adopt a child. I don't mind about it. If the child that I probably adopt probably needs a mom, and I can be their mom, no problem about it. Yeah. Don't make life too complicated. Yeah, it's if you that's yeah, if you really can't make babies, then it's okay. Then it's okay. Yeah.
I like that. If you can't make babies, it's okay. Don't
Okay.
make life complicated.
Yeah, don't cry about it. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Like there's so many people, like, the child who's like an opportunity have to go to the school or what. Just provide them a good one. Just take them as your children and go provide a good one, the best that you can. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that question for Alina was a bit tough, also Jazrin, because she was 12. And at that point of time, one doctor said that she had no chance to live anymore. So that was probably the forefront of what her parents and her doctors were thinking to keep her alive. And I'm so glad that you went for the second opinion and that you are so healthy now and that,
Yeah.
we're
Let's
having
see
this
for my children.
conversation. So thank you so much for sharing, Alina, and thank you all for your questions, for tuning in to her and supporting her. Next week, I want to talk a little bit more about fitness and health.
All
So
right.
if you have
Cool.
questions for fitness and health, please join me next weekend because we always talk about exercise, but what is enough? All these things are questions that a lot of people should know, and we're going to talk about it next weekend with Lenora, if you know her. And the following month, we're going to talk more about nutrition and health. So if you guys have any questions that you want me to bring up, please do DM me, and I'll be more than happy to do so. Thanks, Alina. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah,
And
no problem.
and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of where you've come.
I'm proud of you too.
I'll see you soon when you get back KL.
All right, sure. Bye bye, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in. Bye, everyone.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.